Hi, welcome to Classic Cars Driven. My name's Matt Nichols, and today we're driving an AC Cobra Replica. Is an AK Sports Cars 427, so it's based on the wider bodied Cobra that originally ran the 7-litre Ford Windsor engine. The earlier cars being the narrow body running a 289 Ford Windsor engine. And this particular car, which is owned and available hire from Great Escape Classic Car Hire in Redditch, is based on their AK Sports Car standard chassis. And what that means is XJS running gear and gearbox, things like the handbrake. So at the rear you've got the strong 4HU diff, you've got inboard disc brakes, and then up the front you've got the normal independent suspension. So at the end of the day, this isn't a genuine Cobra. There are only 998 produced originally. There have been some continuation models since then. Many are going through auction and up for sale now and fetching close to £1 million, if not more, depending on who owned it, what success it had on the racetrack, if it was used in competition, etc. So really, I think there is a place for replicas in this case. This and arguably the GT40, of course. I don't know about you, but if I'm going to drive a replica, okay, I want it to look like the original. And there's no question that the AK Sports Cars 427 looks stunning. But the engine choice here is interesting. All the original Cobras ran Ford Windsor engines, starting originally with 260 cubic inches, then 289, before settling on 427, the big 7-litre V8. Now, somewhat ironically, this one's running a 5.7 litre Chevrolet engine, turning out a reputed 300 horsepower, which means it's smack bang in the middle of the 200-ish horsepower 289 original and the awesome 450 7-litre. So if you're going to drive a replica, I think we could all agree is what we want is a taste. And let's be honest, kit cars, they may be cheap, they're not. If you go onto the open market now and try and look for one of these completed, you can find them for sale anywhere between £30,000 and £50,000. So nowhere near the price of an original, as you'd expect. But these are not cheap cars by any means. So still very, very much to be enjoyed, but also fetching a premium in their own right. This review is going to come in two parts, so as you may have noticed, it's getting a little dark now. I'm going to sign off and say goodbye. Hi, welcome back. You'll be pleased to know we made it home safe and sound. Travelled some 60 or 70 miles, mainly at night. Travelling like that, you certainly learn a lot about a car, what you really like, and maybe what you'd like to see improved. There are a couple of things to tell you. One is regarding this AK427 AC Cobra Rep, is the seats are a little bit tight for me. Maybe I'm a bit wide in the hips, but that after a while is a little bit uncomfortable. The controls are quite heavy. I actually quite like that. That's got to be in keeping with the original, surely. So the gear change, the clutch are all quite heavy. The steering, as I said, is very well weighted. It's actually quite light by comparison with the other controls. courtesy of the Jaguar power assisted unit. And the brakes are absolutely fantastic. So clearly disc brakes all round, outboard at the front as you'd expect, Jaguar XJ6 stroke XJS inboard at the rear, and one gentle touch on the pedal and the car comes to a halt. Absolutely no issue with the brakes whatsoever. Then there's the handling. It's a little bit skippy on the front when you're going over rough surfaces, but the back is nicely planted. Very reassuring when you're trying to put down all 300 horsepower. The other thing that's quite important at night is lights. And quite surprisingly, the lights were very good on this car. The only thing that let it down was the main beam. When you put the main beam on, the blue light that faces you on the dash is brighter than the lights facing forwards. It's a bit slippery this morning. All in all, with some adjustments, if this was mine, the seats would have to be increased in size. I really like this car. It's quite well resolved, and again, for a kit car, where you do expect some rattles and shakes, but quite often things you can iron out yourself, you know, along the way. So no, very well recommended. I'm Matt Nichols. This is Classic Cars Driven, and today we've been reviewing the AK427 AC Cobra Rep.